Sai Ram. Welcome to part 2 of the chapter Nutrition in Plants. Today we will be studying about algae and synthesis of plant food other than carbohydrates. Let's have a look at the content of today's class. Testing a leaf for starch, that is iodine test. We'll be learning about algae and then we'll study about plant food other than carbohydrates. So let's get started. Testing a leaf for starch to see if it has undergone photosynthesis. We have studied in the previous class that glucose is turned into starch for storage. Right, students? What did we study in the previous class? We had studied that raw material like carbon dioxide and water, as you can see in the diagram, that raw material like carbon dioxide and water gets converted into carbohydrates and oxygen. Right, and this carbohydrate is called glucose and it is stored in the form of starch. So if starch is present in the leaf, that means glucose was once formed in the leaf, and if glucose was formed, that means yes, the process of photosynthesis occurred. Therefore, to test if a plant has been photosynthesizing, you can test the leaf to see if starch is present. So let's perform this activity. First of all, what is the apparatus that we'll need? We'll need a Bunsen burner. You can see a tripod stand is kept on it. Then a wire gauge is also kept on it. We'll require a test tube and a petri dish, forceps and watch glass. Then the chemicals that will be used here are ethanol and iodine solution, and the raw material that we'll need is a variegated leaf. As you can already make out from the picture that a variegated leaf is a leaf in which in a few patches chlorophyll is absent. As you can see in this patch, chlorophyll is absent. So a leaf where in a few patches chlorophyll is absent is called a variegated leaf. So let's have a look at the procedure. So what we'll do is we'll take a IV leaf, and it's a variegated IV leaf. As you can see here, this is the leaf that we will take for this experiment. And then what we'll do is we'll cut the leaf from the middle. Okay. So once we have cut the leaf from the middle, you can see that the part of the leaf on the left, this portion has no chlorophyll at all. Now if it has no chlorophyll, so the process of photosynthesis cannot occur. And if photosynthesis cannot occur, starch will not be formed in this portion of the leaf. The second part of the leaf, which is on the right side, you can see it is variegated. It has chlorophyll and a few patches of non-chlorophyll part. So wherever there is chlorophyll on this portion of the leaf, there starch will be formed, and thus the process of photosynthesis is occurring on the right hand side. So let's see what we'll do. We'll cut the leaf into two parts. One side of the leaf has chlorophyll while the other side of the leaf has no chlorophyll. Then we'll heat the leaf in boiling water for 30 seconds. This kills the leaf, stopping any chemical reaction. Once we have done this, then what we'll do is we will add ethanol to a test tube. We'll take a test tube and then add ethanol inside the test tube, and then we'll place the leaf inside that test tube. And then this test tube will be placed inside a water bath for a few minutes. Then the boiling ethanol dissolves the chlorophyll and removes green color from the leaf. Now what will happen? Wherever there is chlorophyll in the leaf, the chlorophyll will come out. Why will the chlorophyll come out? Because the water in this over here starts boiling. So once the water boils, the ethanol inside this test tube also boil, and boiling ethanol removes chlorophyll. Okay, students? Now in the next step, we will take out the leaf from the test tube and we'll put it on a watch glass and then wash the leaf with water so that it rehydrates and gets softened. Then we'll add iodine solution from a dropper. So students, the concept over here is that when starch reacts with iodine, it results in a blue-black compound. So what is the result of this reaction? Blue-black compound. If starch is not present, then iodine will have nothing to react with. So iodine then will retain its original color of brown. So what we are doing here is, first of all, we have placed the leaf in a watch glass. Then we'll add iodine solution from a dropper. If starch is present, then iodine will react with starch and a blue-black compound will be formed. As you can see here, the test tube on the right was the one in which the leaf had chlorophyll. So in addition to iodine, the iodine changed its color from brown to blue-black. While the part without chlorophyll, which is in the left side of the test tube, did not have starch in it because photosynthesis did not occur because of absence of chlorophyll. So iodine did not change its color. It retained its original color, that is brown. So let's have a look at the video of this experiment. First, we'll cut the leaf into two parts. One part of the leaf has chlorophyll, while in the other part there is no chlorophyll. Then we'll put the leaves in boiling water. This will kill the leaf and stop any chemical reaction. Then we'll take out the leaves. Then we are adding ethanol in test tubes. We'll place the leaf with chlorophyll in test tube 1 and the other part of the leaf with no chlorophyll in test tube B. Both these test tubes will be kept in water bath. The boiling ethanol in the test tube will dissolve the chlorophyll and will remove the green color from the leaf. We'll take out the test tubes. Then we'll take out the leaves from the test tubes too. And then those leaves will be kept on petri dish and will be washed with distilled water. Now adding iodine solution with the help of a dropper on both the leaves. So the conclusion here is that the leaf on the left shows a positive test for starch in the areas which contained chlorophyll, because you can see here the leaf over here had chlorophyll, and this chlorophyll reacted because chlorophyll was present. So photosynthesis occurred and starch was formed, and that starch reacted with iodine and blue-black compound was formed here. While the leaf on the right did not have chlorophyll. Because of lack of chlorophyll, photosynthesis did not occur, And if photosynthesis did not occur, starch was not formed. So iodine had nothing to react with. So iodine retained its original color of brown. So you can see this leaf is brown, while the leaf on the left is blue-black. With this, we have come to the end of this experiment. Let's move on to the next topic. What is this? What do you see in this image over here? You can see these slimy green patches, right? Wherever there is stagnant water, there is a very high possibility of the growth of these slimy green patches. And these slimy green patches are called algae. Let's study more about algae. Why are algae green in color? Like other green organisms, they also get their green color because they contain chlorophyll. And now, if they contain chlorophyll, how will they get their food? Yes, they will also perform photosynthesis to get their food. Do you want to know some interesting facts about algae? You must be thinking they are just some small organisms. What can be interesting about them? So let's see. So students, this is a view of Indian Ocean. You can see this lit up area. There is light everywhere. This light is due to the growth of a sea algae called dinoflagellates. And this lightened surface in the sea can be in an area of more than 1.5 kilometer diameter. And this light is so bright that you can even read newspaper at night over here. Wouldn't this scene be so beautiful? And another thing, you must be thinking that because these organisms are so small, what ecological role they must be playing? Not much. But you are wrong. Algae are responsible for producing more than 70% of Earth's oxygen. So algae, they produce more than 70%, almost 71% of Earth's oxygen. Even though they are so small, but they are playing a great ecological role. Amazing, right? Now the next topic is components of food. We had studied about it in the last class that the various components of food are carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, fats, minerals. We had also studied that carbohydrate is produced by the process of photosynthesis, and minerals can be absorbed directly from soil along with water. Okay. Now, what are the elements found in various plant foods? So now in carbohydrate, we know that glucose is also a kind of carbohydrate, right? So the formula of glucose is C6H12O6. So what are the elements of carbohydrate? It is carbon, as you can see here, carbon. Then it is hydrogen, as it is here. Then it is oxygen. Okay. Now what are the elements of fats? It is again carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. The elements of vitamins are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. But in addition to it, it also has nitrogen. Likewise, protein also has carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. Now the question is, from where will the plant get nitrogen? Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen present in the carbohydrate can be used to make fats. So fats can get its carbon, hydrogen and oxygen from the glucose, right? Even the vitamins will get their carbon, hydrogen and oxygen from here, okay? The glucose which is formed will give all its elements for the formation of fats, vitamins and proteins. But nitrogen, from where will the element nitrogen come in plants? So let's study about that. From where does the plant obtain its nitrogen? The sources of nitrogen for plants. Nitrogen is present in abundance in gaseous form in air. So in our atmosphere, nitrogen is in abundance. But the problem is that plants cannot absorb nitrogen in this form. So what happens is, certain bacteria present in the soil convert gaseous nitrogen into usable form and release it into the soil. So what is happening here? Bacteria is converting the atmospheric nitrogen, the nitrogen which is in abundance in the atmosphere, it is converting that into a form which plants can absorb. Then even farmers also add fertilizers rich in nitrogen into the soil. So from there also plants can get nitrogen, that is from fertilizers. These nitrogenous compounds are absorbed by the plant along with water. So then this nitrogen is absorbed by the plant along with water. As you can see over here, there are so many types of bacteria present in the soil, and all of them help the plant to convert this atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates, so that into a form of nitrogen which plants can easily absorb. So bacteria play a very important role in nitrogen fixation. In this picture here, you might be seeing a cloud and then there is lightning. So students, what happens is that whenever there is a thunderstorm and then there is lightning, so what happens then is that a chemical reaction occurs in the atmosphere, in the sky. And in this chemical reaction, the atmospheric nitrogen gets converted into a plant usable form, and then that plant usable nitrogen comes down along with the water droplets and it falls on the soil, and then again plants can absorb it. So this is also one interesting phenomena, that during lightning the nitrogen in the air gets converted into another form of nitrogen which plants can absorb. So that nitrogen along with the water droplets falls into the soil and then plants can absorb it. But basically, mainly bacteria are the play the major role in nitrogen fixation. So let's check your knowledge. When starch reacts with iodine, the resultant compound is of the color. I don't think you need the options, but let me give you the options. So what's the correct answer? Yes, it is blue-black. The next question is, when testing the leaf for starch, the reason for placing the leaf in hot ethanol is, why are we placing the leaf in hot ethanol? We had studied, right? The boiling ethanol will remove the chlorophyll. You had seen in that experiment, right? See, once Swami said this, no bird casts the seed on land to grow food for itself, nor do beasts plow and enclose fields claiming, this is mine, this is for my children's children. So no other creature on this earth does that. Only we humans want to hoard food and things for ourselves, for our children. Nature and animal do not have this habit. So this is something we need to learn from nature. Right, students? We are the crest jewel of God's creation. So we need to act like that and not act selfish. We need to be selfless. And along with that, we also need to take care of our Mother Nature. Let's again test your knowledge. Algae are likely to grow in stagnant water bodies. Is it a true statement or is it a false statement? I'm sure you know the answer. It's true. The second statement is, leaves of a plant kept in dark room for a week will show positive test for starch. So students, we know that sunlight is essential for photosynthesis. So if now the plant is kept in a dark room, which means no sunlight. No sunlight means no photosynthesis. No photosynthesis means no glucose will be formed. If no glucose is formed, starch will not be formed. So the iodine test it should be negative. But what is written over here? It will show positive test for starch. So this statement is wrong. It's false. Complex chemical substances such as carbohydrates are produced by the process of photosynthesis. Yes, in the process of photosynthesis, glucose is formed, and glucose is a type of carbohydrate. So this is all for today's class, students. Thank you so much. Saira.